shit!
Who is that? Is that your pa?
Mate, it proves nothing, but
No one's gonna scum us anymore.
that piece of filth! Snap up!
Nothing. Not a word. Good. We're good. Come, quick. How would I... Ride higher ground. Tracks. Hurry up. However long it takes. Protect.
Tell me!
She's your mother.
Tell me what to do. It's his point.
Look away. In my burger, please.
The stress hormones, the tears of joy.
Piquaint. Zest. Why'd you run from me? I would have brought you in. You could have been plenty of you. But only died with Dementus. Because today, ready, set it.
Nice. Hold this if you want.
Of the Immortan Joe!
Something's off.
Go faster!
They won't open the gate! What's this to make it real?
Hit this!
No, don't lie to me. You're up to...
I thought I saw someone running.
No! Someone swarm!
the new dog.
Parts. Too hefty altogether. We are going to
Raise us from the ashes of this world. Here before. He's a dogman.
We're going to build ourselves.
build a contraption that would defend the rear.
He done the most runs on the Fury Road.
Here it comes.
They ride with Dementus.
Not anymore. Hey. Yeah? We can't keep up supply? Or it's everyone's fault? Idiot bullet farmer, high noon. Yeah. Go now!
Mother's milk, and then you return.
Kill him right now.
Should have known
Him from the face of the earth.
How do we do
The
that?
way of thinking is how he rooks.
All vehicles, all generators turn. Your tank is empty. Bullet and firearm, every caliber.
We'll signal them now.
Hell and nothing.
As soon as that's done, toss it.
You're promoted.
Is there a problem?
What am I gonna do? All the way home? To the Citadel?
Line me up!
The escarpment and the Great Salt Plains will take...
Out!
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the blistering, chrome-plated chaos of Furiosa, the Mad Max Saga. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. Our story kicks off in a place so out of step with the known Mad Max universe, it might as well be on another planet. A lush, verdant oasis known simply as the green place of many mothers. Imagine actual trees, flowing water, and something called fruit. Wild, right? Here, a young Furiosa, perhaps around 8 or 9, is living her best childhood life, completely oblivious to the dust-choked hellscape that encompasses the rest of the world. But, as with all good things in the Wasteland, it can't last. Her peaceful foraging among the vibrant flora is abruptly interrupted by the guttural roar of engines and the terrifying presence of savage biker scouts. The contrast between her world and theirs is stark. Life versus metal, growth versus decay. She tries to hide, blending into the very landscape her people have painstakingly preserved. The Wasteland's agents are relentless. They're like that one friend who always finds you in hide and seek, no matter how good your spot. A harsh, metallic clang of a net snags her, and just like that, her entire world is ripped apart. The scouts, a grimy, leather-clad crew, haul her away, their triumphant jeers echoing through the once peaceful groves. This isn't just a kidnapping, it's a stark introduction to the brutal, unforgiving reality outside her sanctuary. A place where survival is the only currency, and kindness is a forgotten relic. The green place, for all its beauty, has proven itself vulnerable to the encroaching madness. Back at the green place, the alarm is raised, and let me tell you, these aren't your average tea and scones mothers. These are the many mothers, a council of formidable warrior women, and they are not thrilled about their kids being snatched. Furiosa's actual mother, an absolute legend of the Wasteland, leaps into action with the kind of ferocity you only see when someone messes with a mama bear's cub. She's a master of stealth and a sniper par excellence, tracking the biker convoy across the unforgiving, sun-baked landscape. The ground beneath them is a tapestry of parched earth and tire tracks, each dust cloud a testament to the biker's destructive path. Her mission isn't just about retrieval, it's about showing these marauders that the green place, while hidden, is far from defenseless. The whizzing thud of her arrows finds their mark with unnerving accuracy, picking off bikers one by one, their howls of pain piercing the desert silence. You can almost feel the grit of the sand blowing in your face as she stalks her prey. But the biker horde, led by the utterly theatrical and delightfully unhinged warlord Dementus, isn't easily outsmarted. Dementus is like if a Roman emperor met a biker gang leader and then decided to wear a teddy bear. It's a whole aesthetic. He's a man who understands the brutal calculus of the desert, and he's equally fascinated and enraged by the notion of a hidden, fertile land. He sets a trap, using Furiosa as bait, because apparently, even in the apocalypse, bad guys still love a good old-fashioned kidnapping plot. Furiosa's mother, driven by an almost primal need to protect her child, falls into his snare. The ensuing confrontation is raw and heartbreaking. She fights with incredible skill and defiance, her movements sharp and precise, the metallic glint of her knives a fleeting blur against the stark desert. But Dementus, a showman with a penchant for cruelty, overpowers her, delivering a crushing blow. Her death is a moment of profound loss, marking the true end of Furiosa's innocent childhood. It's a harsh lesson. Even the fiercest love can be extinguished in this desolate world, leaving only a burning ember of rage and grief. The green place has lost one of its protectors, and Furiosa has lost everything. Now, firmly in Dementus' clutches, Furiosa's life takes a hard left turn into Mad Max Survival Edition. She's dragged through the wasteland with his sprawling ragtag biker horde, a chaotic collective of war-painted, oil-stained individuals who seem to subsist on dust, diesel, and sheer malice. This isn't your average family road trip. It's a rolling circus of mayhem. The stench of burnt fuel, sweat, and unwashed bodies must be absolutely overpowering. Every day is a lesson in the hierarchy of force, the crude economy of scavenged goods, and the sheer unpredictability of life under Dementus. He's a charismatic tyrant, weaving grand, often nonsensical, speeches to his followers, his voice booming over the incessant rumble of engines. You can hear the crackle of makeshift radios, the clatter of loose metal on vehicles, and the constant low growl of anticipation from the horde. Furiosa, ever the observer, watches and learns, her young eyes absorbing every detail like a sponge. She sees the crude justice, the fleeting alliances, and the brutal power plays that define this new, terrifying existence. It's a masterclass in wasteland sociology, if you will, taught by the worst professors imaginable. She tries to find any weakness, any gap in their vigilance, a flicker of hope in the vast, scorching emptiness. The sun beats down relentlessly, baking the sand to an almost unbearable temperature, the wind whipping up stinging clouds of fine grit. It's a constant, visceral assault on the senses. But even amidst the brutality, Furiosa demonstrates an incredible resilience. She refuses to break, even as the endless roar of the engines and the crude jokes of the bikers attempt to chip away at her spirit. Dementus himself, though a monster, is oddly fascinated by her defiance, perhaps seeing a reflection of his own unyielding will. He keeps her tethered, sometimes literally, a constant reminder of his power and her capture, yet she remains unbroken. This period is less about physical growth and more about hardening her resolve, forging her into something tougher than the desert itself. She's a silent study in adaptation, learning the language of the wasteland without uttering a single word, storing away every perceived slight and every lesson in survival. Our little survivor isn't one to just sit around and wait for a rescue that isn't coming. Despite being a literal child, Furiosa stages her first major escape attempt, proving that even a small spark of defiance can ignite a big problem for her captors. She's been living on the fringes of the horde, observing their patrols, their habits, the way the wind carries the scent of fuel and the groans of rusty engines. One night, under the pale glow of a desert moon, she makes her move. You can almost hear the soft scuff of her boots on the sand, the frantic thump of her own heartbeat against the backdrop of the camp's fitful sleep. She manages to slip her bonds, or so she thinks, only to discover she's still tethered by a thick, heavy chain. The metallic clink of it against the ground is a dead giveaway, a cruel, mocking soundtrack to her bid for freedom. She keeps running, fueled by sheer adrenaline and the ghost of her mother's memory, dragging the cumbersome chain behind her, each step a testament to her desperate will. It's a scene that screams, "Give me liberty," or "Give me a really sore ankle." But the wasteland is vast, and Dementus' eyes are everywhere. His henchman, a particularly brutish fellow, catches up to her. The subsequent recapture is brutal, a harsh reminder of her powerlessness. The visual of her small figure being dragged back, the chain scraping the ground with a demoralizing hiss, is truly gut-wrenching. To further assert his ownership and remind her of her place, Dementus inflicts a permanent mark, a brand. This isn't just a physical scar. It's a symbolic act, an attempt to erase her identity and replace it with his own dominion. He intends to break her spirit, to make her another cog in his chaotic machine. But what Dementus doesn't realize, or perhaps underestimates, is that some spirits are forged in fire, not broken by it. This scarring, rather than crushing her, only fuels the nascent fire of vengeance within her, hardening her resolve even further. It's the moment where the girl starts to become the warrior, learning that in this world, freedom isn't given. It's taken inch by painful inch. The desert wind, usually a mournful whisper, now seems to carry the faint, determined hum of her future fury. Dementus. In his never-ending quest for more power, more resources, and frankly just more stuff, decides to pay a visit to the biggest player in the wasteland, Immortan Joe. Picture this. Dementus and his horde, all dust-caked and roaring, approaching the Citadel. It's not just a fortress. It's a terrifying, skull-adorned monument to tyranny, rising like a jagged tooth from the desolate landscape. The sheer scale of it is breathtaking, dwarfing Dementus' entire convoy, and immediately establishing Immortan Joe as the top dog in this particular desert dog-eat-dog world. You can practically feel the oppressive weight of the structure, hear the distant, eerie whispers of its hidden mechanisms. This isn't just a casual drive-by, it's a strategic move. Dementus, ever the opportunist, has a proposal, or rather a demand, disguised as a negotiation. He believes his horde and their newfound captive, yes, Furiosa, are valuable enough to warrant a substantial trade. The negotiations are tense, underscored by the constant threat of violence. Immortan Joe, a man who knows the value of every drop of water and every scrap of metal, surveys Dementus' offerings with a chilling, calculating gaze. He's encased in his signature life support, his breathing a mechanical hiss, a silent testament to his fragile yet absolute power. He sees Furiosa not as a person, but as a potential asset, a tool to be utilized. The trade itself is a fascinating glimpse into the wasteland's economy, water and vital supplies in exchange for territory, resources, and ultimately, Furiosa. She's essentially a pawn in a brutal game of post-apocalyptic chess. The tension is palpable, the air thick with unspoken threats and thinly veiled contempt between the two warlords. You can hear the nervous shuffling of their respective armies, the metallic clicking of their weapons, poised for conflict. The deal is struck, and Furiosa is handed over, a silent witness to her own commodification. This moment is pivotal because it shifts her from one brutal form of captivity to another, equally oppressive, but vastly different. She's now in the heart of Immortan Joe's empire, a place built on exploitation and ritual, a stark contrast to Dementus' more chaotic rule. She moves from the frying pan into the deep fryer, essentially, but at least this new fryer has better plumbing, I guess. Inside the Citadel, life for Furiosa takes on a new, grim routine. This isn't a five-star resort, folks. It's more like a heavy metal, post-apocalyptic industrial complex. She's thrown into the deepest, grimiest pits of the Citadel's mechanical underbelly, specifically the motor pool. Think endless grease, the constant shriek of metal, and the pervasive smell of burnt oil and exhaust fumes. Not exactly a spa day. Here, she's shaved bald, stripped of any remaining vestige of her previous life, and forced into labor alongside other young, voiceless war pups. But Furiosa, as we know, isn't just any child. She's a survivor, and her keen observational skills, honed by her time with Dementus, now serve her well. She doesn't just work, She studies. She watches the mechanics, the warboys, the inner workings of Immortan Joe's war machines, the clatter of tools, the grinding of gears, the frantic shouts of foremen. It all becomes part of her new, brutal education. She's absorbing knowledge like a desert plant soaks up the rare rain, understanding the intricate ballet of destruction and maintenance that keeps the Citadel running. This period is less about active rebellion and more about strategic endurance. She learns the layout of the Citadel, its hidden passages, its vulnerabilities. She witnesses the bizarre rituals of the warboys, their cult-like devotion to Immortan Joe, their desperate yearning for Valhalla. The shiny and chrome mantra, the ritualistic spraying of chrome paint, it's all part of the unique, terrifying culture that fuels this society. She sees the breeders, the carefully selected women kept for procreation, and the stark contrast between their fate and hers. This isn't just a place of work. It's a living, breathing testament to Immortan Joe's warped vision of society. Furiosa, though small, becomes a ghost in the machine, moving through the shadows, learning to anticipate the whims of her oppressors, all while her internal fire, that spark of vengeance, continues to smolder. She's not just a mechanic. She's an analyst, building a mental map of her cage, slowly but surely devising a way out, or perhaps a way to dismantle it from within. It's the ultimate long game, played by a child who has already lost too much. While Furiosa is busy becoming a silent mechanical genius, Dementus, bless his chaotic heart, isn't just twiddling his thumbs. He's decided to turn up the volume on the Wasteland's ongoing conflict, launching a full-scale assault on Immortan Joe's two other vital outposts, Gastown and Bullet Farm. He's not just looking for a good time, he's aiming for a total hostile takeover, a corporate raid in the most literal sense. Imagine a massive rumbling convoy, a symphony of sputtering engines, clanging metal, and the frenzied shouts of his horde. Dementus, now riding in style on a truly ridiculous, utterly impractical, but undeniably cool monstrous chariot pulled by 3 motorcycles, leads the charge. It's a statement piece, a mobile monument to his ego. The attacks on Gastown and Bullet Farm are pure, unadulterated mayhem. Explosions rip through the air, sending showers of debris and fire into the sky. The crackle of gunfire and the screams of the dying become the dominant soundtrack of the Wasteland. These aren't skirmishes. They're full-blown invasions designed to cripple Immortan Joe's supply lines. Gastown, with its towering oil rigs and constant flares, is a vital source of gasoline, the lifeblood of this motorized world. Bullet Farm, a grim industrial complex, is where all the ammo is forged, literally giving Joe the upper hand in a firefight. Dementus' strategy is simple. Control the resources, control the Wasteland. It's a bold move, and it ignites a brutal, multi-front war between his biker horde and Immortan Joe's warboys. The ground rumbles with the endless procession of vehicles, the air thick with the acrid scent of burning rubber and gunpowder. This escalating conflict creates a volatile, dangerous environment impacting everyone. For Immortan Joe, it's a direct challenge to his dominion, forcing him to divert his forces and strategize. For the common folk, it means even less safety, even more desperation. For Furiosa, observing from her vantage point within the Citadel, these external wars are crucial. They distract her captors, create opportunities, and reveal the weaknesses in both Dementus' reckless ambition and Immortan Joe's rigid control. It's a blood-soaked power game, and Furiosa is learning how all the pieces move, preparing for her own, much more personal endgame. The Wasteland isn't just a setting. It's a character, constantly shifting, constantly demanding a new strategy for survival amidst the roaring engines of conflict. Years pass, and Furiosa, now a formidable young woman, has honed her mechanical skills to an almost supernatural degree. She's not just fixing vehicles, she's practically one with them, understanding their groans and rattles better than most people understand their own thoughts. Her reputation within the Citadel's motor pool has grown, earning her a grudging respect from the grizzled mechanics and even some of the warboys. Her quiet efficiency and unwavering focus have set her apart. One day, a rare opportunity arises, a chance to prove herself beyond the greasy confines of the garage. The war rig, the Citadel's most vital vehicle, a monstrous, heavily armed tanker truck, needs a new co-driver, or perhaps a driver. This behemoth is the lifeline of Immortan Joe's empire, responsible for ferrying precious gasoline and aqua cola between the 3 major factions. The Citadel, Gastown and Bullet Farm. It's a job for the toughest, most cunning and utterly fearless. Furiosa, with her shaved head and steely gaze, sees her chance. She doesn't just ask for the job, she takes it, demonstrating an innate understanding of the war rig's power and its nuances. Her movements are decisive, her grip on the wheel firm. The roar of the engine as she takes control is deafening, a sound of raw power that resonates deep in your chest. She proves herself during a tense, chaotic run, expertly maneuvering the colossal vehicle through treacherous terrain and dodging skirmishes. The metallic screech of tires, the thump of distant gunfire, the relentless buffeting of the wind. She masters it all. It's during these runs that she first properly encounters Praetorian Jack, the seasoned stoic driver of the war rig. Jack is a man of few words, but his actions speak volumes. He's a veteran of the wastes, his face etched with the harsh realities of survival, and he recognizes the rare grit in Furiosa. He sees not just a skilled driver, but a kindred spirit, a fellow survivor in a world designed to chew people up and spit them out. His promotion isn't just a career move. It's a massive leap in her journey for vengeance. The war rig is her ticket to seeing the wider wasteland, to understanding the intricate web of alliances and hostilities, and most importantly, to getting closer to Dementus. She's no longer just a prisoner. She's a force to be reckoned with, literally at the wheel of her own destiny. Furiosa's first official run as a war rig driver isn't exactly a leisurely Sunday cruise. It's a full-throttle, adrenaline-fueled dash through a gauntlet of chaos, a baptism by fire in the truest sense. The mission is simple. Deliver precious fuel and water through treacherous territory, but in the wasteland, simple usually means life-threatening. As the war rig barrels across the desolate plains, the sheer scale of the vehicle becomes apparent. It's a mobile fortress, but also a giant target. The engine screams a powerful guttural roar that vibrates through the entire cabin, a constant reminder of the immense power under her control. Soon enough, the expected unwelcome committee arrives. Various marauder gangs, their vehicles cobbled together from scrap metal and sheer desperation, emerge from the dust-shrouded horizon. They're like really rude, heavily armed paparazzi, always showing up uninvited. The chase is on, a symphony of crashing metal revving engines and desperate shouts. Furiosa, under the watchful eye of Praetorian Jack, proves her mettle. Her instincts are razor-sharp, her reactions instantaneous. She's not just driving. She's dancing with death, weaving the massive rig through narrow canyons and over-shifting dunes with impossible precision. The metallic clang of stray bullets ricocheting off the armor plating fills the air, punctuated by the occasional boom of an exploding tire or a destroyed marauder vehicle. Jack, usually stoic, offers curt instructions, his voice a low growl above the din, but mostly he lets her drive, clearly impressed by her natural talent. The heat inside the cabin is stifling, a mix of engine exhaust and the searing desert sun, but Furiosa remains cool under pressure, her eyes scanning the horizon, anticipating every threat. This run is a vital lesson in the brutal realities of war rig life. Constant vigilance, absolute focus, and the understanding that every journey is a gamble. It solidifies her place not just as a driver, but as a key player in the Citadel's operations, a testament to her unique skills in a world where brute force often triumphs over finesse. She's earned her stripes, or rather her road grime, in the respect of those around her. It's a harsh welcome to her new profession, but she takes it all in, every explosion and near miss, building her legend one perilous kilometer at a time. As Furiosa continues her runs on the war rig, a profound, unspoken bond begins to form between her and Praetorian Jack. It's not a relationship built on grand declarations or flowery speeches. This is the wasteland, after all, where words are often wasted. Their connection is forged in shared danger, mutual respect, and the silent understanding of two people who have seen too much and survived even more. You can almost feel the worn leather of their gloves as they work together, the metallic clang of tools against the war rig's armored plating becoming a familiar rhythm. They become a seamless unit, anticipating each other's moves during high-speed chases, communicating complex strategies with nothing more than a nod or flick of the eyes. Jack becomes her mentor, teaching her the subtle arts of desert navigation, the tells of different raider gangs, and the delicate balance of power between the various factions. He's a walking encyclopedia of wasteland lore, his stories conveyed through gruff warnings and a quiet, knowing gaze. Furiosa, in turn, brings her relentless drive and uncanny mechanical intuition, often spotting issues before they become catastrophic. Their moments of camaraderie are brief but potent. A shared ration of water, a quiet glance over the roar of the engine, the simple act of covering each other's backs in a firefight. You can sense the almost familial trust that builds between them, a rare and precious commodity in a world where everyone is usually out for themselves. This alliance is more than just professional, it's personal. Jack sees the fire in Furiosa, the same unyielding spirit that has kept him alive for so long. He recognizes her past pain without needing to ask, and respects her quiet strength. This connection becomes a crucial anchor for Furiosa, a source of stability in her turbulent journey, preparing her for the trials yet to come. It's a subtle but powerful depiction of hope amidst the desolation, a reminder that even in the harshest environments, human connection can still flourish, providing strength and purpose. The growl of the war rig's engine, once a symbol of endless journeys, now feels like the steady beat of a shared heartbeat, thrumming with loyalty and unspoken promises. Of course, Dementus, being the relentlessly petty and vindictive warlord he is, hasn't forgotten about Furiosa or about seizing Immortan Joe's valuable resources. He's been meticulously planning, biding his time like a particularly impatient vulture. His target, the war rig, his method, a colossal ambush designed to eliminate Praetorian Jack, capture Furiosa, and seize the prized tanker. The war rig, rumbling along what appears to be a routine delivery, suddenly finds itself driving into a literal death trap. As it enters a narrow canyon, the walls on either side suddenly erupt with Dementus's entire horde, a seemingly endless wave of screeching, chrome-plated maniacs. The sheer numbers are overwhelming, a metallic tide washing over the landscape. The roar of hundreds of engines, the frantic shouts of war boys, and the metallic clatter of chains and weapons create a deafening cacophony. Explosions rip through the air as mines detonate and projectiles strike the war rig's armor, showering sparks. Furiosa and Jack are immediately thrust into a brutal, high-stakes battle for survival. Furiosa, at the wheel, expertly swerves and accelerates, trying to shake off the attackers, her eyes darting between the treacherous terrain and the encroaching enemy. Jack, a whirlwind of combat, wields his weapons with deadly precision, defending the rig's vulnerable points, his grunts of effort mixing with the sickening thud of impact as he takes down assailant after assailant. The visual of the war rig, a symbol of industrial might, being completely swarmed by these individual, grotesque vehicles, is truly striking. It's a testament to Dementus's strategic cunning, even if it is a bit over the top. The scene is a masterclass in controlled chaos, a tightly choreographed ballet of destruction. Every frame is packed with intense action, the metallic scraping of vehicles against the canyon walls, the whoosh of flamethrowers, the desperate struggle against insurmountable odds. This isn't just a skirmish. It's a pitched battle, a turning point where the Wasteland's power dynamics shift violently. The air is thick with dust, smoke, and the metallic tang of blood, a sensory overload that perfectly encapsulates the brutal reality of their world. Furiosa and Jack fight tooth and nail, their combined skills just barely keeping them alive against the relentless assault. It's a moment that will forever scar Furiosa, physically and emotionally, cementing her path of vengeance. Amidst the unrelenting fury of Dementus's ambush, the unthinkable happens. The war rig, battered and burning, becomes a death trap. Praetorian Jack, ever the protector, makes the ultimate sacrifice. He's already grievously wounded, his face streaked with blood and soot, but his resolve remains unbreakable. You can hear the strained grunt as he makes a last desperate effort, pushing Furiosa from the exploding rig, knowing it's the only way she might survive. The look in his eyes, a mix of grim determination and sorrowful farewell, is absolutely heartbreaking. He's essentially saying, "Go get him, kid," without uttering a single word. His final moments are a testament to his loyalty and the deep bond he forged with Furiosa. He meets his end with the stoicism of a true wasteland warrior, disappearing into the fiery wreckage. For Furiosa, landing hard on the scorching desert floor, the shock is immense. The air is thick with the scent of burnt oil and scorching metal, and the roar of the inferno consumes everything. But the immediate aftermath of her escape brings its own horror. In the brutal scramble, or perhaps due to a poorly timed explosion, she suffers a catastrophic injury. Her left arm is mangled, nearly severed. The visual is visceral and horrifying, the raw wound a stark, agonizing reality. The muffled thuds of distant explosions and the screams of the dying now sound strangely muted to her as her world narrows to the searing pain in her arm. This isn't just a physical wound. It's a profound loss, both literally and figuratively. She's lost her mentor, her friend, and a piece of herself. The injury is a cruel metaphor for the world she inhabits, where even the most vital parts of you can be ripped away in an instant. This moment is the crucible, the forging of the Furiosa we know from Fury Road. The loss of her arm solidifies her resolve, transforming her pain into an unquenchable thirst for vengeance against Dementus. There's no time for grief, only the immediate, desperate need to survive and then to hunt. The quiet hiss of her shallow breaths mixes with the distant wails of the scavengers, already descending on the battlefield. She drags herself away, clutching her ruined limb, the desert sand grating against her raw skin. This is the moment when the last vestiges of her childhood self are burned away, replaced by the hardened, relentless warrior driven by a singular purpose: to make Dementus pay. It's a devastating, transformative moment, marked by the metallic tang of blood and the crushing weight of immense loss. Surviving her horrific injury is nothing short of a miracle in the Wasteland, a testament to Furiosa's sheer, stubborn will to live. But survival isn't enough. She needs to rebuild, to become even stronger. She somehow makes her way back to the Citadel, a phantom amidst the war boys, hiding her wound and her burning desire for vengeance. In the depths of the motor pool, she begins the painstaking process of crafting her prosthetic arm. This isn't just a replacement limb, it's a declaration of intent, a symbol of her refusal to be diminished. The metallic scrape of grinding gears, the harsh glare of a welding torch, the rhythmic hammering of metal, these sounds become her lullaby. She scavenges parts, repurposes discarded machinery, and meticulously engineers a functional, if rudimentary, bionic arm. It's a marvel of wasteland ingenuity, a blend of practical mechanics and sheer desperation. Each bolt, each piston, each leather strap is chosen with purpose, forged with an almost spiritual devotion. The process is painful, both physically and emotionally, a constant reminder of what she lost and what she's fighting for. But Furiosa doesn't wallow. She trains. You can hear the grunt of effort as she pushes herself, testing the limits of her new limb, adapting her fighting style to incorporate its unique capabilities. She hones her combat skills, her movements now a blend of grace and brutal efficiency, her one good arm and the mechanical appendage working in deadly sync. She practices with a fierce, almost meditative intensity, the metallic clang of practice weapons echoing in the quiet corners of the Citadel. This isn't just physical recovery, it's psychological warfare. She's waging against herself, against the world that broke her, transforming her trauma into tangible power. She learns to use the arm not as a weakness, but as an advantage, a tool for both survival and retribution. It's a truly inspiring display of resilience, a raw, gritty testament to the human spirit's ability to adapt and overcome, even when all the odds are stacked against it. She is no longer just a survivor. She is an architect of her own destiny, building herself piece by metallic piece, ready to unleash the fury she has so carefully contained. Her breath comes in sharp, controlled bursts, a testament to her newfound discipline. Years roll by like rusted wheels across the desolate landscape. Furiosa, with her newly integrated prosthetic arm, doesn't just survive within the Citadel. She thrives, rising through the ranks of Immortan Joe's army. Her combat prowess, tactical brilliance, and uncanny mechanical intuition make her an invaluable asset, even to the tyrannical Joe. She earns the title of Imperator, a commander in a position of significant influence. The constant thrum of engines, the guttural shouts of war boys, the distant explosions of skirmishes, it all becomes the soundtrack to her carefully orchestrated ascent. But every promotion, every victory, every moment of respect earned is merely a stepping stone on her singular path. Revenge against Dementus. She never forgets, never wavers. Her mind is a strategic map, constantly charting Dementus's movements, his dwindling resources, his increasingly erratic behavior. He's like that annoying relative who keeps losing his car keys, but somehow still manages to cause global mayhem. She hears the whispers and rumors of his campaigns, his dwindling horde, and she files away every piece of information, like a digital spy in an analog world. Her training continues, relentless and unforgiving. She uses her prosthetic arm with a fluidity that belies its mechanical nature, a testament to her dedication. The metallic clink and whir of its movements are a constant, subtle reminder of her trauma and her purpose. She perfects her driving skills, her shooting, her hand-to-hand combat, transforming herself into an unparalleled warrior. This period is a slow burn, a simmering tension that builds with every passing moment. She becomes a master of patience, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, unwilling to waste her vengeance on a premature attack. She observes the intricate dance of power between the Citadel, Gastown, and Bullet Farm, understanding that true control comes from exploiting vulnerabilities, not just brute force. The harsh glare of the twin suns, the biting sand in the wind, these are her constant companions, forging her into the hardened, iconic figure we've come to know. She's not just an imperator, she's a force of nature, gathering her strength, preparing to unleash a storm of fury that has been brewing for decades. The silence in her strategy is as deafening as any explosion, a quiet testament to her unwavering focus. The time for planning is over. The time for action has arrived. Furiosa, now at the peak of her power and influence within Immortan Joe's ranks, leads a full-scale expedition, not just for resources, but for Dementus himself. The hunt is on, and it's personal. She commands a formidable convoy of Immortan Joe's war machines, a rumbling, roaring metallic serpent snaking across the vast, bleached expanse of the desert. The sheer noise of the convoy is overwhelming. The deep thrum of dozens of engines, the metallic screech of tracks, the distant shouts of her war boys. Dementus, now a shadow of his former bombastic self, is on the run. His once mighty horde decimated, his grand ambitions shattered by his own recklessness and Immortan Joe's retaliatory strikes. He's like a deflated villain, still dangerous, but certainly less shiny and chrome. Furiosa tracks him with the precision of a predator, following the faint, fading trails of his scattered forces. Her eyes, hardened by years of watching and waiting, miss nothing. The journey is arduous, a punishing traverse through the harshest corners of the wasteland, scorching salt flats, treacherous dunes, and rocky passes. Each mile is a testament to her unwavering determination. She's not just driving, she's propelled by an almost primal scream for justice. The wind whips up stinging clouds of sand rattling against the armor of the vehicles, but Furiosa remains focused, her grip firm on the steering wheel, her prosthetic arm a seamless extension of her will. The chase culminates in a series of brutal, high-octane engagements, skirmishes that explode across the landscape like fireworks made of metal and blood. The metallic thud of projectiles against armor, the screams of dying bikers, the sickening crunch of vehicles colliding. It's a symphony of destruction. Furiosa is in the thick of it, her tactical brilliance on full display, coordinating her forces, leading by example. This isn't just a battle. It's the culmination of decades of pain, loss, and an unshakable resolve. She's closing in, the scent of Dementus's demise almost within her grasp, and there's no stopping her. The desolate world itself seems to hold its breath, anticipating the final, inevitable confrontation between two titans forged in the crucible of the apocalypse. This isn't just revenge. It's the balancing of a long overdue ledger, written in blood and oil. Finally, after years of waiting, plotting, and relentless pursuit, Furiosa corners Dementus. It's not in a grand, dramatic setting, but a desolate, sun-baked patch of rocky earth, a fittingly bleak stage for their final confrontation. Dementus, stripped of his chariot, his horde, and much of his former swagger, is a desperate, pathetic figure, but still dangerous. He's like a cornered animal, all teeth and feral instinct. The fight is raw, brutal, and deeply personal. This isn't about fancy choreography or massive explosions. It's about two wills clashing, fueled by decades of hatred and suffering. You can hear the strained grunts of effort, the harsh rasp of their breathing, the metallic clang of Furiosa's arm connecting with Dementus's flailing attempts to defend himself. Furiosa's rage, long suppressed, finally erupts. Her movements are precise, lethal, each strike imbued with the pain of her mother's death, Jack's sacrifice, and her own mutilation. Dementus, despite his diminished state, still possesses a cunning brutality, fighting dirty, trying to exploit any weakness. He hurls taunts and insults, trying to break her spirit, but she is unbreakable. The sounds of their struggle are punctuated by the stark silence of the desert, emphasizing the isolation and the singular focus of their duel. The sun beats down mercilessly, baking the scene in a harsh, unforgiving light. The sand shifts underfoot with every blow, each impact sending tremors through the desolate ground. This isn't just a physical fight, it's a battle of ideologies. Furiosa's calculated justice against Dementus's chaotic cruelty. The struggle is long, arduous, and visually intense, highlighting Furiosa's incredible strength and resilience. She uses every skill she's acquired, every lesson learned in the crucible of the Wasteland, to systematically dismantle Dementus, not just physically, but psychologically. She wears him down, not just with her blows, but with the sheer force of her unwavering purpose. The fight climaxes with a decisive, overwhelming display of Furiosa's power, bringing Dementus to his knees. The metallic thunk of her prosthetic arm delivering the final incapacitating blow is deeply satisfying. The revenge she sought for so long is finally within her grasp, but what she chooses to do with it defines her character in a way that mere violence never could. This isn't just the end of a villain, it's the final step in Furiosa's transformation. After the brutal fight, Furiosa makes a choice that completely defies the conventional wisdom of the Wasteland. She doesn't just kill Dementus. That would be too simple, too quick, too merciful perhaps. Instead, she enacts a form of poetic, agonizing justice that is uniquely her own. She takes him, weakened and broken, and subjects him to a fate far worse than a quick death, eternal conscious torment. You can almost feel the desert heat radiating from the ground as she meticulously carries out her plan. She plants a single small peach seed, a tiny symbol of life and hope from her lost green place next to the imprisoned Dementus. She keeps him alive, but not well. He is a living, breathing testament to her vengeance, forced to watch as life slowly, painstakingly grows from the barren earth, a stark contrast to the destruction he sowed. The rustling of the leaves of the nascent tree, growing from the seed, will be his constant reminder of what he destroyed and what he lost. This isn't just punishment. It's a living monument to her mother, to Jack, to all that Dementus took from her. It's a profound moment of world building, showing that even in this desolate, lawless land, a new form of justice can take root. The choice is a powerful statement about Furiosa's character. She's not simply a creature of rage. She is an agent of transformation, turning death into a slow, agonizing rebirth. The scene emphasizes the enduring power of nature, even in the most inhospitable environments, and the idea that some forms of vengeance are deeper, more impactful than mere bloodshed. The world of Mad Max is not just about explosions, it's about the philosophy of survival, and Furiosa just wrote a new chapter. The quiet hiss of Dementus's labored breaths under the growing foliage is a chilling soundtrack to her triumph. She's not just victorious, she's a visionary, redefining what it means to mete out justice in a land that has forgotten the concept. With Dementus finally dealt with, Furiosa returns to the Citadel, not as a broken survivor, but as a legend in her own right. She's solidified her position as Immortan Joe's Imperator, a commander unmatched in skill, strategy, and sheer, raw determination. The whispers of her exploits, her vengeance, spread through the wasteland like wildfire, cementing her formidable reputation. The final images show her at the wheel of the war rig, gazing out at the desolate yet familiar horizon. Her face, etched with the scars of her past, now carries an undeniable strength and a fierce, quiet resolve. She's become a symbol of defiance, a beacon of hope in a world consumed by madness. This is the woman who will one day free the Five Wives, the woman who will challenge Immortan Joe himself. It's a powerful ending, showing us not just where she came from, but how she became the force of nature we already knew. Her journey, steeped in loss and resilience, reminds us that even in the bleakest landscapes, the human spirit can adapt, evolve, and ultimately rise. Her story is a testament to the idea that our traumas don't define us, but rather forge us into something stronger, something capable of reshaping the very world that tried to break us. It's about finding purpose beyond pain, and carving out a future, even when it feels like there is none. Always remember, even when the world seems to offer only dust and despair, there's a wild, unyielding spark within us all, ready to ignite, to drive us forward, and to fight for what truly matters.
Lights up!
Bobby Knocker!
Not yet!
We can't keep up supply, or it's everyone's fault. Idiot bullet farmer, high noon. Go now!
Mother's milk, and then you return.
Kill him right now.
Should have done
Him from the face of the earth.
How do we do
The
that?
way of thinking is how he rooks.
All vehicles, all generators turn. Your tank is empty. Bullet and firearm, every caliber.
We'll signal them now.
Hell and hell.
As soon as that's done, you're promoted.
Is there a problem?
What am I gonna do? All the way home to the Citadel.